What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video today I'd like to talk about two different cryptos, KTA, Keeta, and Cookie DAO. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it, my friends. It is the 24th day of November. We're going to talk about KTA first, and then we'll talk about Cookie afterwards, okay? Again, it is the 24th. We have about 6 hours and 40 minutes left in this day. Let's get into it. Hit the like button, subscribe, and let's go. So KTA, first and foremost, with a very voluptuous recovery here on the 21st of November. All the way up, I mean, you went literally to almost 32 cents. You literally went, your high point here, it says the high over here, it was 31.9 cents. The low was 17.6 cents. I mean, that's a miraculous move in what was about like 12 hours, 16 hours worth of time. We're pulling back a little bit now. And where I was thinking that we might find support here and then move higher, it's looking like we have a little bit lower to go. We're breaking this structure a little bit. And actually, if I remember correctly, I think we did think that we would go lower. Because we were holding the 382, but we weren't bouncing there, right? Low to high. Yeah, we were holding it, but we weren't bouncing. We found resistance at the 236. I gave you conditions. That's what it was. I remember now. I said if we rejected the 236 and return down here, we likely go to the golden ratio. If we break above the 236, then we likely proceed higher. Okay, that's what it was. I remember now. Well, we're breaking below the 382. It makes sense that we go to the golden ratio. There is a scenario where we could find support at 23.7 cents, right about 24.1 cent now, so it's not that far away. However, I'm more under the impression that we go to 22 to 21.2 cents, somewhere in there, the golden ratio. Find a higher low, prop up. If I'm wrong, we could go lower. We could even see a lower low. It's quite possible this is not the low. We don't have enough data yet. So far, this is just a lower high. We could form another lower low. It's possible. But I'm of the belief that this is the low. I'm of the belief that we don't go lower. If we look at KTA here, shout out to Moonrocks. Moonsters, by the way, guys, I think is at a really good, Moonrocks is at a really good price right now. There's a lot of volume that came in here. There's clearly a floor. I don't know. I think it's impressive. This consolidation phase here, I think it's going to send us higher. That's a different project, though. Moonsters, shout out to Moonrocks. KTA. KTA. That's the one here. Come on now. If we look at the weekly time frame where you found your low, it's actually at prior areas of resistance. It's a perfect area to find support, and you had a very immaculate reaction. We had to use this chart because this chart's the only one that actually has the true all-time history of KTA. This chart does not actually show the lows from back there, right? It doesn't actually show that. So anyways, looking at the 4-hour time frame here, I would think it's very obvious that we do go to one of two places, 23.7 cents or 22 cents. I'm thinking 22 cents or thereabouts, and then we can talk about recovery, okay? And likely, when we recover, it's likely going to be a very fast pace. This thing is way oversold, way undervalued. We look at the 1-hour time frame here. Come on, 1-hour time frame. You can do it. There we go. It's a blank canvas. 1-hour time frame as far as the price is concerned. Let's see. Let's look at you with some volume. We'll look at the Coinbase chart. Not a whole lot of volume coming down. That's fine. RSI does look bearish. You're bouncing off the oversold zone, which is nice, rejecting it, but you're getting weaker reactions here. You're probably going to pierce through and get into these zones like you have before, and then that'll be your low. Or maybe you find one drive, you come back up, you get another drive, you get that higher low, that's your low. You get that bullish divergence there. Something lower, though. Definitely lower. Stochastics are bearish, and the MACD crossed below the 0. You are certainly bearish here. With that being said, there is a little bit of bullish divergence on the MACD. I guess you have some on the stochastics too. If you move up at all, I doubt you get above 26 cents. Okay, I doubt you do. 4-hour time frame. Looking at this here, rejecting the same areas in the RSI that you rejected back here. Right, rejected here. Looks like you're going to go lower, in my opinion. Probably come down. Ooh. I mean, do we actually see a lower low in the price, and do we actually form bullish divergence there? I wonder. I don't think we will. Mark my words, this is what's going to happen, okay? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I could be wrong. But once the RSI is at the oversold zone, we're going to bounce off of it. You're going to get this higher low. We should have a higher low in the price as well. And again, I think this will be very well respected to the golden ratio, about 22.4 cents to 21.4 cents, somewhere around there. We'll find support there. And we will find support here on the RSI. Mark my words, when the RSI, the 4-hour RSI, is at the oversold zone, that'll be the time to buy. Okay. Stochastics are oversold. MACD is about to cross down. Yeah, it looks bearish overall. Time to move lower, and that's okay. Daily time frame, looking at the all-time history chart, we're expecting big things out of Keeta. There are some very interesting things happening with this project. And if we take a high, the all-time high, to the low of the chart here so far, high to low, the expectation then, if this is the low, and I'm pretty confident it is. I'm pretty confident we don't go below 17.6 cents. But if we do, small amounts. It'll be like a double bottom recovery. It'll be fantastic. Okay? If we go lower, it's a good thing. You get to buy at a cheaper price, which means that instead of buying here and the price goes up to here, you're only amplifying your reward if you buy down here, right? It's only a good thing, but not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I doubt we go below this low. I am calling for that to be the low. 24.3 cents now, we will likely move all the way up to about $3.14. At a minimum. That's the low end. There will be stops along the way. You might have an initial 180% pump, 230% pump, find some turbulence, come back down, pump from there. Your overall growth will be 300 to 400, come back down, and then initially, or finally, not initially, but finally, you'll get to this 12x, 13x move. But this destination, this is the ultimate destination, right? It's like if up here, or even here, we were calling for this low, you had turbulence along the way before you made it down there, right? It's not just a straight line. We might remember through the trauma that from August to the end of the middle of November here, the end of this move, it might feel like it was a straight line down, but it wasn't. It was volatile all along the way. We're on the weekly time frame. We're not even seeing the totality of this volatility. But ultimately, from here, the minimum expectation is about a 13x. The maximum expectation, which would just be wild, but is about a 28x. And anything and everything in between is fair game. I'm personally in favor of stopping around 420, but maybe we stop right there at $3.15. Maybe we stop. If we go to the 1414, typically you don't stop just below it. That'd be where 420 is, so that kind of hurts that idea, actually. Maybe we go just above $4.34. Typically you wick just above the 1414, or we do just rally all the way up to the golden ratio. Either way, though, KTA is getting set up for what would be a multi-billion-dollar valuation, because at its current valuation, what is it? Its current valuation is about 107 million. Yeah, we 10x. We get to $3.14. We're at $1 billion. And we're probably going to break through that. I would think we get to a couple $1 billion on this next move. So sometime between now and the end of this year, if not sometime between now and the end of January next year, I am assuming that we have a $3.14 at $6.90 price. And maybe, if I'm wrong on the timing. I'm not going to be wrong on the price prediction. This will happen. It's just my expectation is end of January, maybe end of December, probably end of January. But if not, maybe it's sometime in February or March even that we could be there. But ultimately, we're moving up there. Perhaps all of December comes along and we're consolidating here. We get into January, we're here at this level. And then, or actually the way that I have it drawn there would be the beginning of February. We consolidate, and then by the end of March, we're all the way up here. You know, we could hit the lower ends of this by the end of January, sometime in February. The upper ends of this could be later. But overall, I don't know if it's going to look like that, or if it's just going to be a straight shot up. But whatever it is, however it is, I do expect $3.14 to $6.90 to come into play. That's KTA. That's Keeta. Do your research. Study Keeta. It is a very interesting project, and it's one we've been following for quite some time. Shout out to Adam. I want to say it was Adam. Adam, or maybe his name was Matt. I want to say it was Adam for giving for putting that on our radar for the very first time. Cookie DAO here. Cookie DAO at about 5.2 cents. We just keep going lower. This is one of the more disappointing investments in our portfolio at the moment, right? We've had very big aspirations for Cookie DAO. Very, very immaculate aspirations. They're still there. I still believe that from here, 5.2 cents, we're going to see new all-time highs. But I'm pretty sure, let's look at Cookie here. I'm pretty sure there are some token unlocks that are going to happen next month. Let's see here. And then hold on real quick. Actually, I'm gonna bring this back because I saw something. There was something up here. There was like an ad. It said, "Earn passive income, get 24% APR." If I'm not mistaken, maybe it's an ad, so then it changes if I refresh it. Right there. It's where it's supposed to be. Well, that was a waste of time. Yeah, right there. Passive income up to 24% APR. You can earn 30% APR if you stake Onyx coin. And Onyx coin's at a low point right now. So you're likely, I mean, just saying, if 24% APR stands out to you as good, Onyx coin is consistently at 30%. They have some of the best staking. You can stake and unstake instantly. There's no lockup periods, none of that stuff. It's safe. It's SAFU. Shout out to Onyx coin on that note for literally having some of the best APR in the space. I'm just looking at that there. Enough of the shilling, though. If I was shilling, I would actually be getting paid to talk about it. I'm not being paid to talk about it. The only payment I get from the Onyx DAO is my staking rewards. That's it. Looking at this here, which is the same that anybody gets, depending on the size variance, I suppose. But Cookie DAO here to $33 million market cap is very largely undervalued. There are some token unlocks that happen here, and if we're looking, let's just see. Come on, show me. Total holders. Wow, we've actually increased in total holders. I like that. That's a great, I like that. That's a good thing there. Coin market cap. I love that. Wow. Oh, the last 30 days. Okay, what about all-time history? Let's do that. What would the all-time history be? Token unlocks. See, it doesn't say here. I don't think this is a good representation. There are token unlocks that happen every month, but I'm pretty sure there's a larger. I have to read the white paper again. We'll see. Maybe I'll do that. On my next cookie video, I'll clarify that. But look, the holders are increasing. Total holders are increasing, you guys, over time. And the price, this is not at all what the price looks like. When the price reflects that, we're literally going to launch through the roof. We saw 42, you guys, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks, we saw a 42x. Everyone's jumping for joy over Zcash pulling a 30x in what was like 6 months, like 4 months, 3 months. This did it in 6 weeks. It did a 42x. I'm telling you, by the end of January, we could very well be at new all-time highs by the end of January. But as far as all-time high targets go, we take a high to a low here. The expectation is somewhere around $1.85 to $5. Yes, the targets have moved up because the lower end of these targets have moved down. Whenever you have lower targets, the fibs move up. So $1.85 to $5.09 from here, that is a 36x to a near 100x move. Okay. We're likely not going to see $5 to $2.80 by the end of January, but we could see $1.85 by the end of January, if not certainly sometime in February or March. Going into the end of the year, going into the end of December here, I would think we see something probably above 30 cents. We're probably going to be around 45 to 60 cents. That'd be my guess. And then going into the new year, pushing out to new all-time highs. But very spectacular growth, very spectacular opportunity here. Again, I think the holders, total holders versus the price, I think that says it all, man. There's people. There might be some selling pressure here, but look at the volume, right? There's not a lot of volume, right? This is just because the rest of the market is dumped down. There is acquisition going on. There are people that are buying and holding and not selling. And I think that if you buy here and you hold, you will be rewarded in time, right? In time. It's just very disappointing so far, though. 1 hour time frame, you're moving up a little bit. That looks nice. Looking at the RSI, bullish on the RSI, bullish on the stochastics, bullish on the MACD. Could have figured. 4 hour time frame here. Also looks bullish, breaking out of this downtrend. You're breaking out of the downtrend in the price too. You look good. I wouldn't be surprised, guys. We're at 5.2 cents now. We might see Cookie just rip all the way up to about 8 cents here pretty soon. When I say pretty soon, I mean within the coming days. Like tomorrow, the next day, by the end of today. MACD's looking good. Stochastics are looking good as well. The daily time frame here, oversold on the stochastics, and bullish divergence on the MACD, which is nice. Weekly time frame. Do we have bullish divergence on the MACD? Oh my goodness, we do. We do have bullish divergence on the MACD, which is nice as well. I keep saying that, which is nice. Which is nice. Isn't that nice? Which is nice. High to low here. First target to expect would be something around 13 to, let's say, 15 cents. Okay. Consolidate, do your thing, and then the next target would be 27 to 34 cents. Once we get past that, we've got 45 to 60 cents, and then once you're above 60 cents at that point, we're only thinking about $1.85 or higher, okay? And by the end of this cycle, if I'm right, my assumption is Cookie DAO should be worth, at a minimum, somewhere around $11 to potentially something around like, let's say $50, $11 to $50, somewhere in that range by the end of the cycle. I'm more under the impression that, let's just see here, that we'd probably stop closer to this $11 to $20 area but that's still a multi-hundred X from here. At a bare minimum, man. I mean, even at your 1272 there, that's a 34X. But I would think at a bare minimum we've got 96X potential from here. Like if we're not above $5 by the end of the cycle, I'd be very surprised. And what's crazy about that is that's still immaculate growth. The only downside is most people, myself included, have invested at higher prices, right? So that 98X, that's not gonna you're not gonna get that. Most people who are still holding, most of these holders, if they're not buying more, they're probably only going to get something on the lines of like a 28X, which is still nice. It's still great, but at a minimum, man, at a minimum. And even then, you still have 100X potential, even at those prices, if you're just holding and buying more. But I got nothing else. I'm just rambling at this point. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Expecting big things out of Cookie, expecting big things out of Keeta. As far as which one's the better investment, I don't know. Cookie might be, they're both at low points. I don't know. Cookie has a lower market cap. KTA has the better narrative, I think. AI is big, but I think DeFi might be bigger, or even just crypto finance. Not that KTA is necessarily DeFi. It is centralized, but finance and crypto I think is a bigger deal. So, anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Both of them are great investments. Take care. Bye bye.